Yet Opis, as Diana's sentinel, had long been seated on a mountain top, on high, where, undismayed, she watched the battle. But when she saw, far off, Camilla done to death among the shouts of raging young soldiers, she groaned, and from her deepest breast cried out these words: "O Virgin, you have suffered too cruel a torment, yes, too cruel for daring to face the Teucrians in war. The way you served Diana while you were lonely among the wilds has been no help, nor were our quivers carried on your shoulder. But now your queen will not leave you dishonored in your last hour, neither will your death go now without its glory through the nations. Men will not say that you were unavenged. Whoever has defiled your body with a wound will pay that debt with his own death." Beneath that summit, sheltered by a thick ilex, there stood a mound of earth, the massive tomb of Dercenus, one of the Laurentians' most ancient kings. Here first the lovely goddess descends with speed, then halting she spies Aruns from that high barrow. As she saw him, bright in armor and puffed up with pointless pride, she cries, "Why are you running off? Come here to claim your death, to take the prize we owe you for Camilla. Shall one like you, even you, die by Diana's arrows?" At this the Thracian virgin drew a swift shaft from her gilded quiver, and she stretched her level bow, long, taut, drawing it back until the curved points met. With even hand she pulled the bow until her left could touch the arrow's iron tip, until her right could feel the bowstring and her breast. At once he heard the hissing shaft, the whirring air, and in that very instant iron drove deep in his chest. But Aaron's heedless comrades desert him as he gasps, groans out his last along the battlefield's unknowing dust, and Opis wings her way to high Olympus. The first to fly, their mistress lost, Camilla's own light-armed horse, the Latins routed, run. Daring Aeneid flees, their captains scattered, forsaken companies seek safety. Turning, they gallop to the walls. No one is able to stay with spears or stand against the press of Trojans bringing death. And now the Latins haul off slack bows on their exhausted shoulders. Four-footed hoof-beats shake the crumbling plain. The dust that whirls in cloud and darkness rolls back to the city. As they beat their breasts, the mothers on the watchtowers raise laments, the cries of women, high as heaven's stars. The first to gallop through the open gates, full speed, still find the enemy entangled within their ranks. The fugitives cannot escape sad death. The Trojan shafts still thrust. Within their native walls, upon their threshold, within the very shelter of their houses, the Latins gasp their last. Some shut the gates. They do not dare to open them for their own comrades, and are deaf to any prayers. And then, a wretched butchery. Some guard the gates with swords, their own companions charge against them. Some, shut out, are rolled headlong into the trenches, driven by the rout, before the eyes, the very presence of their weeping parents. Some with loosened reins, blind, spur ahead and batter at the gates, the tough and bolted doors. Even the mothers along the walls, remembering Camilla, are rivals in their eagerness to cast their shafts with anxious hands. True love of homeland points out the way. They rush to imitate steel with their sturdy oak clubs and charred stakes. Each burns to die, first for her city's sake. Meanwhile, within the woods, the bitter word finds Turnus. Acca brings the warrior news of confusion. Volscian's squadrons ruined, Camilla fallen, and the enemy advancing. Mars behind him, sweeping everything, panic reaching to the very walls. Raging, he quits his ambush in the hills, deserts the rugged groves. So Jove's harsh will demands. He has just marched from sight and gained the plain when Father Aeneas, entering on the unguarded pass, across the ridge, moves out from the dense forest. Rapidly and in full force the two make for the city. There is little space between them. When Aeneas made out, far off, the plain that smoked with dust, the Latin ranks, at that same moment Turnus caught sight of fierce Aeneas in his armor, and heard the tramp of men, the panting horses. They would at once have faced the test of battle, but now the crimson Phoebus bathes his weary horses within the Spanish sea, restoring the night as day retreats. Before the city they pitch their camps and fortify their earthworks.